Something just came out of 3I Atlas, and it's heading straight toward Europa. On March 23rd, tracking stations detected a thermal spike from the most mysterious object ever to enter our solar system, 340 degrees Celsius, in 6 seconds, then separation. A 12-meter object broke away from 3I Atlas and began moving toward Jupiter's moon. Not drifting, moving, with 3 separate course corrections. Rocks don't change direction in space. Ice doesn't navigate, only one thing does, something with propulsion. And it's heading toward the one moon in our solar system most likely to contain life. Let's break down exactly what scientists detected, why they're genuinely alarmed, and what this could mean for everything we thought we knew. Here's what we actually know. At exactly 14:23 UTC on March 23, 2026, thermal sensors monitoring 3I Atlas recorded an anomaly. The object's surface temperature jumped 340 degrees in 6 seconds flat. Now, there are only 2 explanations for that kind of thermal event. Either internal volatiles suddenly vaporized, which would create a chaotic debris cloud shooting in random directions. Or something activated. Here's what happened next. A small object roughly 12 meters across separated from 3I Atlas at 4.7 meters per second. That's walking speed, controlled, deliberate, precise. For context, when comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 broke apart near Jupiter in 1992, its fragments separated at 50 to 300 meters per second. Violent, chaotic, random, this was nothing like that. Within 47 minutes of separation, tracking stations recorded the first course correction. The object's trajectory shifted by 0.3 degrees. Sounds small, right? It's not. In space, over millions of kilometers, a 0.3 degree adjustment means the difference between reaching Europa and missing it by 400,000 kilometers. 11 hours later, a second correction. Then a third, 3 deliberate adjustments, each one bringing it closer to Europa's orbital path. Here's what Dr. Sarah Chen at MIT's Planetary Science Department said when I reached out, natural fragmentation doesn't produce course corrections, period. Whatever this is, it's not behaving like any cometary debris we've ever observed. But here's the question that's keeping scientists up at night. Of all the places in our solar system, why is this object heading toward Europa? Let me show you exactly why this is terrifying. Europa is Jupiter's 4th largest moon. Surface temperature, -160 Celsius. Covered in ice 15 to 25 kilometers thick. Looks dead from the outside, but underneath that ice, an ocean, not a small one. Europa's subsurface ocean contains roughly 3 billion cubic kilometers of liquid water. That's more than double all of Earth's oceans combined. And here's what makes astrobiologists nervous. In 2023, the James Webb Space Telescope detected carbon dioxide concentrated on Europa's surface in a region called Terra Regio. The chemical signature showed that carbon came from below. From the ocean, not deposited from space, generated internally. Where there's liquid water, carbon, and energy from tidal heating, there's the foundation for life. Europa isn't just another moon. It's the single most promising location for extraterrestrial life in our entire solar system. NASA is sending the Europa Clipper mission specifically to investigate this. And now something from outside our solar system is navigating directly toward it, not randomly drifting in that direction, actively adjusting course 3 times. If you were looking for evidence of intelligent targeting, this is exactly what it would look like. This is where it gets uncomfortable for mainstream science. Avi Loeb, former chair of Harvard's Astronomy department, has been warning about exactly this scenario. Before 3I Atlas even reached Jupiter, Loeb published a paper outlining what he called potential technological signatures to watch for. One of them was this. His exact words: if any object separates from 3I Atlas and achieves a trajectory toward a body of scientific interest. This would represent a clear technological signature that natural processes cannot replicate. Natural comets break apart all the time. Pieces fly off randomly. They follow ballistic trajectories determined purely by physics. They don't course correct, they don't target specific moons, they don't navigate. Here's the math problem scientists are facing. The probability of a random fragment accidentally achieving a trajectory that intersects Europa's orbit is approximately 0.00003%. 1 in 3 million. But that assumes random ejection angle, random velocity, random timing. What was observed had none of those random characteristics. Loeb's statement from last week, the natural hypothesis is becoming harder to defend with each new data point. Now most scientists are cautious. They want more data before making any dramatic conclusions. Fair enough, but the data keeps pointing in the same direction, and that direction is towards something we might not be ready to accept. Right now, 3 spacecraft are monitoring this situation. NASA's Juno has been orbiting Jupiter since 2016. It was repositioned in early March specifically to observe 3I Atlas passing through the Jovian system. The European Space Agency's JUICE spacecraft, launched in 2023, has long-range imaging capabilities already active. And NASA's Europa Clipper, launched October 2024, is currently 7 months into its journey. All 3 are tracking anomalous objects in the Jupiter system. Here's what Juno has confirmed. The separated object is real, size estimate 12 meters, consistent with ground observations. Albedo 0.04, that's extremely dark, darker than coal. For reference, Europa's ice surface has an albedo of 0.67. It reflects light. This object absorbs it. If you wanted to design something to avoid detection in space, an albedo of 0.04 is exactly what you'd choose. Current trajectory analysis shows the object will reach within 200 kilometers of Europa's surface in approximately 47 days. That's not a collision course, that's an observation orbit. Close enough to study the surface, far enough to avoid destruction. Calculated, precise, intentional, so what happens now, the imaging will improve every day as the object gets closer. If there are more course corrections, we'll know. If it deploys anything else, we'll see it. For the first time in human history, we have the technology to watch something like this in real time. The Vera Rubin Observatory in Chile is now generating 7 million sky alerts every night. If more objects are coming, Rubin will find them. Here's what scientists are watching for. If this object achieves stable orbit around Europa, that changes everything. No natural process can explain a cometary fragment achieving orbital insertion around a specific moon 400 million miles from where it broke off. The physics doesn't allow it. If that happens, the conversation shifts from what is this object to who sent it. As of today, the object is 47 days from closest approach to Europa. The countdown has started. And for the first time, the question isn't whether something unusual is happening. The question is whether we're ready for what the answer might be. If this gave you something real to think about, hit the like button. I want to hear your theory. What do you think 3I Atlas just released? A probe, a seed? Something we don't even have a word for yet. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If you want to stay updated as this story develops, subscribe and hit the notification bell. This is far from over. And if you know someone who needs to see this, a friend, a family member, that one person who's obsessed with space, send them this video right now. This is exactly the story they've been waiting for.